Welcome back in, Gear Nerds. You got Fireball, Jason, aka Huck from Huck Outdoors, and Matt, aka Matty Dunn, Matthew Dunn, Lead Me Outdoors.
We're still
I don't know what his channel name is this week. We'll figure it out.
Give me a name.
We'll figure it out. We were just talking about that in the green room. Like Matt needs a trail name too.
Maybe we should get some name suggestions in the comments.
Yeah, there you go. Best one wins there.
Badass.
Slip him a hundo and he might actually think about it. Welcome back in this week. It's actually been a minute since we had the roundtable discussion. So welcome back, guys. How are we feeling today?
Good.
Excellent. Well, that's it, guys. We've officially run out of different topics to talk about on this podcast. We've made it about 30-something episodes, and we're like, you know what? We've got nothing else to talk about. So, of course, we're going to talk about the ones and the twos on tonight's podcast. And we're talking about pooping in the woods and all other kind of bodily function. Like nothing's off the table. You know, you can talk about projectile vomit. We can talk about whatever we want in this one. Let's just expel everything here tonight and get it all out on the table. And better out than in, as we always like to say, right? And that's literally it. I'm going to slide this over to Huck here because we don't really, this is going to kind of be off the cuff, but also because whenever we take bets on who is going to lose the game here, then that's going to be Huck every single time. He doesn't even play the game. He's just like, I'm just going to go every single time I'm out there. I actively try to win the game. I have like my little things here and there that I try to do.
Huck never, ever is able to hold it.
I just let it go.
I've made it on a bunch of trips now where I haven't had it, but it's the shorter ones, you know. It's not like, you know, anything that goes like longer than like 3 days, then forget
what?
It. Then it's
go
just
2 days without. I can't go 2 days.
I could go 2. Yeah, once you hit the third, it's like nah. Yeah, dude. It's all about the techniques and timing it just right and everything.
Well, have you ever? Oh, you probably want to do that with a wag bag though. Hold it that long and then go into a wag bag.
I know.
Ooh.
Oh man! I know somebody
chili from night one out there.
There's somebody in this chat with us right now that won a wag bag challenge. I'll say that.
We weighed our poop at the end of the hike.
Ooh, was it a metric ton and a half?
I think I went like 2 times or 3 times, something like that. So I just had more coming out.
I got to insert that Jeff Goldblum gif where it's just like that's one big pile of crap.
Yeah, the dinosaur one. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. That's all we got to talk about. I mean, we're kind of we're going in the vein, I guess, of the backpacking podcast, who built their entire podcast and their whole legacy, it seems like, off of this one topic here and this reoccurring question. And we figured, why not? Let's just put our hats in the ring of the poop talk here. So, how do we want to do this one tonight, guys? What are you thinking? What should we start with?
Before we do any poop stories, anything like that, there's one thing that is just a pet peeve of mine, and just for all the listeners out there, all the viewers, pack out your TP. I'm sorry, it's like
yes,
there's so many people I see don't do it anymore, and it's not that bad. You know, you get like you double bag it, you get like a Ziploc bag, you put it in there. Put in another Ziploc bag. You don't smell it. It's just one of those things. Like there's been locations you go to and you see where we call them the booby traps, where just a little bit TP's hanging up. And there's some people that
the landmines.
Remember that time in Little Lakes Valley where we saw it was like a whole roll of toilet paper?
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah,
like went back there to go poop and
just left it everywhere.
It was all over. It was crazy.
That's nasty. Yeah, I mean, definitely human waste. I know you guys are both dog owners as well. Where do you stand on that one? Packing that out too?
I usually bring the doggy bags with me and pack out poop whenever I'm on a hike. Sometimes if it's like a really like crazy trail, like I'll kick it off the trail because it's gonna decompose. The main thing is like it's poop, like dog or coyote poop or whatever. But human waste, I mean, we consume different type of products, and that's normally what the issue is. So I'm always packing out my TP. I usually bring a double baggie. Like I have a Ziploc bag and then a bag. Huck's seen how I do this. On the inside, it's a black bag that I bought from Amazon. I put the used toilet paper in there, and then that goes inside of a Ziploc bag. So it hides the smell, and then it rolls back up into the trash. So it does a pretty good job. That's all I do normally.
Nice. And then you just wash it out and reuse it, right?
Yeah, well, when
Ready for the
I
next
get
time.
back, I just throw away the bags. I mean, that's all I do because once I have used toilet paper, I'll put it in my trash bag. So I'll bring like 2 sets of those. If it's a longer hike, you have to bring more sets of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Huck. I think
Especially our local mountains. There's so much just teepee out there still, and there's somebody that Matt and I know. He says that he goes back to check.
Oh, you
We know
better.
it's a bold-faced lie.
Does he
I'll
watch
say it
this
right now.
podcast?
I don't
Does
know
he
if he
watch
does,
this
but
podcast?
if he knows who he
We're
is,
world
I won't
renowned
mention
over here.
names. I'm not gonna name drop, but he says he goes back and tries to find the locations he pooped at to see if anybody dug after.
He's full of crap. I mean,
He just doesn't like
Was he
he's disgusted to pick
geotagging?
it up.
we went on a trip. What Huck's talking about? We went on a trip to Johns Meadow in the San Gorgonio Wilderness a few years back, and he had to go to the bathroom. He went down the ways and then somehow we got in an argument like a year later, and we're like talking about packing out your toilet paper, and he was like, "Oh, he doesn't do it," but he said he went back to where he went and he dug it up and saw that it was still there.
My God.
There was something weird like that, right, Huck? Like it was.
Next level.
It was pretty much that, and it just
We were like,
it's not that bad of a thing. It's like you're at home, you're dealing with a TP at home, it's like you put it in the toilet, just put it in the bag. It's not that big of a deal.
I thought you
It's
threw
your
yours
poop.
in the trash.
No, not at home. Oh man,
I'm kidding.
No.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Well, it brings up some actually. There's actually more meat to this story. It's kind of a weird analogy. Like no one wouldn't want to use the term meat for this, but there's actually more to this, right? Like, where do you guys? I don't know if this is a hot debate or not either. I think especially for people who are just getting into backpacking, right, or like trying to experience it for the first few times, they may think that something that like is biodegradable, like the wet wipes or something like that, is okay to bury out there as well. What do you guys think on that one? Yes or no on the biodegradable stuff?
No, because biodegradable usually takes, I mean, even though it is biodegradable, it takes a long time for it to process and do its thing. And the problem is see, you use it as a wipe, the animals will smell it. They'll usually dig it up, and then it's all over the place.
Yep.
And that's the problem.
Oh yeah.
So
and something just for the new backpackers and hikers too. A lot of people are afraid to do it. It's one of those things.
Privacy.
There's other people. I know you're saying, you give a little bit of time. Hopefully you win the game. Got to go out there. But there's people I know that will pop pills, Imodium AD, just so they do not to clog themselves up, just so they don't have
up. Oof.
Yeah, you're not gonna do it.
Meals?
Yeah. Yeah. Once you get over it, your fear of doing it once, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I mean, it could be inconvenient for the RBH or the having to do trail maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
That's the inconvenience. If we did want to go into that whole thing. I know I heard you say it in your last one of your last videos, Huck. Hey, you had to do some trail maintenance, and that's just because it's like you clean yourself up back there, but you're moving.
Yeah.
And stuff like you didn't do the best job, and man, it could turn into bad news if you don't.
Yes, very quickly. Oh man. And down the rabbit hole we go.
Yeah.
I know, right? I'm thinking of like different stuff to talk about here as we're kind of chatting. So
well, as we're going, we could
be a lot.
Well, we could share. I've got many poop stories.
But
I'll share one as we're going along here, just real quick. As a little break, but
I've
got many. Yeah, I've got many of them. But let's see.
He's gonna write a book.
I probably could write a book.
Pooping on the trail with Huck.
Yeah. Oh man.
By a hook.
No, so the most famous story, I've shared it before, a few other people, other podcasts, but up on the Lost Coast Trail, one of the cool things about the Lost Coast Trail is you have to poop in the ocean below the high water mark. So you wait till low tide, hopefully you can wait that long. You go down, dig yourself a hole, go in the ocean, and then of course still pack out all your TP and everything.
No privacy?
hopefully you get some, but there's times where you look down this way, you can see a mile down that way. See a mile down that
Yeah,
way.
but you're just
butt cheeks in the
totally,
wind.
like you're just
Yeah.
totally exposed to anyone that's
You're
up on the
exposed.
hill looking down on you.
No, yeah, you're exposed, but you can see people coming, and I think people might want to slow up a little bit. Let's see what somebody's doing up there.
Is that the only way you could poop?
The only way you're supposed to. They require you to poop in the ocean.
So you just got to kind of just.
Yeah, there's a couple spots where you go around, and there's like the wall of the whatever's coming down of the mountain, and the trail goes around it. So if you're lucky, you can go there. A little bit of privacy, but on our last night on the trail, we were close to the end, pretty popular campground, and I've got to go. It's I like to call it the prairie dog. It's about to come out. It's about to pop out, and we started going down the trail. And here's a girl over there, pretty girl. She's watching the sunset and starts striking up the conversation. It's like, and I'm starting to do the little poop dance. I'm doing.
Could have been your future wife, man.
It could have been, but
I thought it was about to say like. I thought you were going to say like I didn't break eye contact and I slipped her my number at the same time.
No. I was in full poop mode. I had to go, and so I was finally. You got to go. You start doing the poop dance a little.
She saw you
shuffling the feet. And I finally told her, "Hey, excuse me, I got to go poop."
You told her straight up you had to poop.
Yeah,
she's out of there.
And so she's like, "Oh, okay." So I just went right around the corner. Looked down. I was like, "I don't see any headlights coming. I'm good. Let's go."
That's pretty funny, Huck.
Yeah.
There you go, future wife in the wind. Right there.
I've got more than that one, but
downwind.
That's the one I love to share.
It's a good one. All right, we can intersperse them here. I actually have a couple of bullet points here because there is a little bit that we can talk about here. One, how about this one? Popular techniques as far as like how-tos. And let's not get too far into it. Let's just talk about the different styles, right? I know people have made videos on this as well, different ways in which you can do it.
Yes, sir.
But what do we got? I think Huck, you dropped one, right?
I'm thinking about doing another one. You got to update for 2025.
Huck and I differ on our pooping styles. I know that though.
Okay. Yeah. What do we got? What do you like?
I'm one of those guys that likes to find like a tree or a rock. I like to do the hanger. So like you hold on to the tree.
That's a good
back one. Or like a rock. I could sort of like put my hand back on the rock and lean back on it. But I also don't like to do the catcher squat. I think that's
I'm all about the catcher squat, man. You dig your hole, you hover right over it. Your pants and your feet up are out of the way. Your legs are spread apart far apart enough. You're able to drop it right in the hole for most of the time. Your aim's pretty good.
I was gonna say, so I think that the biggest tip there is to just like make sure you get your legs out, right? We want to make sure that you're spacing the pants out as far as you can go.
Getting low to the ground. It's like the higher up you are, the further that thing's got to fall, and that could cause
splashback.
Oh yeah, you don't want to splatter.
Ooh. No, that's
I got to add on to that. If you are a dude, you got to make sure your dingling's pointing out, not because it's like you could get it like you start. You know how you pee a little pooping.
Yep.
I'm not sure I get the visual 100% on that one. But.
I totally get it.
I'm just saying from experience, it's like if you really had to, like if you had to pee while you're pooping, it's like you better make sure you take care of that pee first. Otherwise, you're going to be pushing, and that thing's like.
You got a messy situation going on.
Yes. That's great.
I give tips.
There you go.
One other one,
it's all about the experience.
Yeah, one other technique, but it's super hard to get the location down. Is finding a nice log that you can sit on.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Drop your log off the log.
Yeah, it's like hang your butt cheeks off the backside, kind of.
Almost like a nice seat.
So you're not worried about it like getting on the log and like people having to walk.
No, you've got it. Usually you can go off of that log, but it's got to be a smaller log.
But you got
it's got to be smaller diameter.
Sticking your butt up pretty far. Okay.
Yeah. I've lucky a couple times I found those in the wild, but they're far and few between.
Yeah, when I gotta go, man, gotta go.
Between your hip and your knee isn't that long, then maybe that's not the best option there either. Yeah, I'm more of a grok. I call it a grok squat, catcher squat kind of thing. Anyway, I think that's kind of like the natural way of more of the primal way of doing things, going back to the ancestors. There's a whole science behind that too, and how that's easier for you to go number 2 as well, that we won't get into, but supposedly it's just easier to go. That's why they have like the squatty potties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That you can
The
use
squatty potty is all about that, catchers getting down and
get those knees up above your hips there. There you go. All right. Any other techniques? I feel like there's a couple that we might have missed, but we don't actively use.
Well, yeah, I don't use a buddy system.
oh my gosh, that's terrible. Who even does that, man?
Is the other one the poop hammock?
That is
Talking
Oh
about
yeah,
the
there's a
poop
poop hammock. Yeah, there's a poop hammock.
I do.
So-
A tip that I do have is like for a newbie would be like when I am going to use the restroom, if I got to go, like I make sure I lay out because I use the wussy wipes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get them all wet and I'll kind of lay it all out for me, like preparation of going to the bathroom. So when I'm done,
Okay.
I'm not like scrambling and be like, oh my gosh, I got to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Get your hand sanitizer ready, all of it.
Yeah.
What about the pre-digging the holes? Are you guys about that or not really? I know you guys scope out your spots, but do you pre-dig them?
I don't pre-dig.
No.
Okay. I think that's really just for like those emergency situations, like if you're getting caught and you're like, I gotta go right now kind of thing.
I guess if you're like routine, like 6:30 a.m. pooping. I mean, I'm not a 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock guy poopers, so I'm usually going or hiking back or whatever. So
no, I just usually go and find a spot that's sort of hidden away from everybody. I don't want to see them. They don't want to see me. So
definitely don't want to see you.
Huck's technique, you'd always tell when you're hiking with Huck too, because he'll just start drifting back.
I'll be back.
Yeah, and then he'll be like, I'll be back, guys. Just go on ahead without me, kind of thing.
I don't have it close to me. I got my day hiking one, but I've got like a big yellow one with big poop on it on my poop bag.
Yep.
So yeah, if I'm in a very popular camp where there's a lot of people, everybody's gonna know what I'm doing. And it's got a big old poop emoji on it.
Oh, so you change it?
No, so that one's only for like day hikes. That way I keep that in my day hiking bag, and then I've got my one for overnights, which is a little bit bigger with more supplies.
I had to go to the bathroom about a month ago, I think it might have been, or even more I was on a day hike with Huck and I did the whole like go out ahead, and the next thing I know is like by the time I'm done, the guy's like out like a mile ahead over on some other peak. I wouldn't say it's a peak, but like another like lookout point, like way far ahead. I was like, oh my gosh, I must have taken forever. He was like standing there waiting too. I could see him, people going by and talking to him.
I was trying to stall people for you.
He was. That was part of the plan. It's like, do you see anybody coming, man? Try to stall
And that's one of the other running jokes with pooping in the woods. If you're ever lost, just go to the bathroom in the woods and somebody's gonna pop up and find you.
Yeah,
right.
There you go. Always, right?
Forget about the Garmin and the satellite device. Just go number 2 and somebody will find you. All right. How about this one? Picking a spot and this could be obviously terrain specific, right? Depending on where you're at. Like Huck had mentioned a couple of them there, but what are your techniques for this? I mean, obviously you want to stay off of the trail, but what are some of like your favorite places to scope out?
Well, I mean, I'll go first. Like that time that I was talking about before, it was up on this hill. It's up this perch. It was kind of up on this point, and there was like no bushes, no trees, and that was an absolutely terrible place to go. I couldn't hold it any longer. I had to, but normally I'm looking for bushes, trees, a lot of like stuff to cover me up. I usually from camp I'll go back at least like 200 yards back into the woods to get away from everybody and just try to find a nice little spot to go. But sometimes you got to go, and it's just that makes it a very unique situation for sure.
I guess I'll throw in my 2 cents from what I've seen as well, not necessarily like super experience on my end. I feel like it's almost better at times if you can get off trail, like when you're hiking on trail, because like Huck had mentioned too, in the popular spots, especially like when I've gone, it's mostly been like near campgrounds, and it's just a minefield. You especially established campgrounds where it's hard enough to get far enough away where somebody hasn't dropped one before. So if you can, I think my recommendation would be to try and do it when you're like on trail, because I feel like you'd have a better chance of finding safer spots that way.
Yep, that's a good point. Yep.
Yeah. and make sure you're not in a drainage where it's, around water. Stay out of the creek, like creek beds, or even just regular dry drainages, because the water's eventually going to flow. It's going to push stuff down.
That goes for number one too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, try to stay away from camps. Usually if I'm trying to find a spot, if I got my hiking pole with me, I'm trying to see if I can get something that's got some decent dirt I can start digging with. But every once in a while, you get to that spot, you might be in the desert or just a rocky terrain. It's
hard to. Yeah.
You just got to do your best. That's all there is to it. You can't.
Yeah.
It's not like the textbook scene. That's not always going to happen.
Never is, man.
No.
Right. All right. How about this one here? Do you guys mark it? Like if it's in a certain type of area, do you like put some sticks over it to try and like give anybody else the heads up? What do you think on that?
I put like a rock or something over it.
Every once in a while, I might do a couple rocks, maybe put a stick in there. If it's by a camp that we're doing at, like at the last one I was at with Matt and Joshua Tree, I went away, but I did still mark it a little bit with like a little small stick going up, a couple rocks around it. That way, it looks somewhat natural, but at the same time,
what if they think it's a treasure?
Huh? That's fool's gold right there. Fool's
gold. I'm gonna get some gold here. Oh no!
He lays one of those like plastic coins over it just in case.
I did not put the X.
He marked it as some like GPS.
I actually did. I've done the X before. I've done the X just because. I just feel like one stick, you never know.
No flags.
Nobody would hide a treasure like that. Come on. All right, how about this one? What are some tips for having privacy? Remember, like Huck just mentioned here too, one of the biggest fears you have when you first go out is just kind of doing it, like getting used to it, right? So one of the things that they probably fear the most is getting run into or having somebody stumble upon them or whatever. Are there things that you can think about bringing to shield you a little bit more? Do you just use the coverage of the trees and do the best you can, or what kind of tips you guys got for that?
I would say, like, if you have a hiking partner with you, have them. I mean, Huck's done this for me, and I've done it for him. Is be a lookout. If someone's coming, you try to like stall them a little bit because your buddy's like doing their business.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend that.
We've actually done that same thing, Matt, up on Mount Whitney, where the last time I was up there, one of the people in the group had to go, and we're on the 99 switchbacks. There's no place to go. You're doing it in a wag bag.
I just like, wow, man, that's
so it's like one guy. I went up the trail with one other guy, and we sort of stalled people up there, and the rest of the group stalled people behind just so we could go on the switchbacks.
And there's like, how do you dig there?
Well, it's wag bags, so you got.
Oh, that's right. I was gonna say
I got the word.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got the worst visual of that, of just like a Plinko thing where it's just rolling down.
Yeah.
Wag bags. Yeah, Huck and I have done wag bags a couple times. Or one time.
Real quick, wag bags. Don't leave them out in the sun.
No.
It's made like you put it away in the bag, because if you got that thing out on the top or out on the back, it's gonna warm up. And you don't want it becomes a stink bomb. You don't want that.
So I've actually never used one. Where do you put it in your bag then? Like you want to put it probably.
I usually bring like
your trash.
With your trash, what I've done in the past, I've brought like one of those big gallon Ziploc bags, and I compress it as small as I can. It's still got the wag bags have a little Ziploc on there, and then I put it in that secondary Ziploc bag just to be safe.
I store it inside the bag because I know I don't want it to heat up. So like inside of my backpack, in between, say all my dry stuff in the dry bag, I probably put it there, and then my food is in a Dyneema bag above it, and it's got a lot of layers of protection. So there's no like reason to worry for cross contamination, but it'll keep it a lot cooler inside of your bag than putting it on the outside of your bag.
Yes.
Nice topics you'd probably never think that you'd talk about is how to keep your food cool enough in your bag. Those are some great techniques as far as like the buddy system and like using other people that you're with. I'd say beyond that, especially if you're a little bit more paranoid about it and you want to go more gear specific, really depends, I would say, on probably the terrain or like the type of weather that you're going to experience on the trip. But like if you have a you know, like a sun umbrella or something like that. I mean, you can kind of use that as a shield
Not a
if
bad
it really
idea.
isn't in your privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just anything. If you have a larger, you know, I don't know, like a poncho, if you bring a poncho or something like that, that you can kind of like put in front of you, or put your bag in front of you, especially if you have something behind you. Those are all things that you can, if you can utilize if you're kind of freaking out about it.
I like the sun umbrella idea. That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. If you're up there, you're using rocks, you're using trees, you're using bushes to protect you. I've got to say, just make sure you do a full 360 and look around completely to make sure you're shielded.
Well, there was
Because
a girl big at Lake Number 2, Big Pine, down below. I was up there shooting a sunset shot, and she was like right below me, squatting and like straining, and I was like, oh.
Did you think it was like an animal at first or something?
I was worried she was gonna turn around like completely, like she probably would have just freaked out. And I'm like, that's
the deer in headlights.
I was posted up with a camera and on the tripod shooting the shot, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, thinking you're a creeper or something.
Never saw me. Oh, I know. I was like, it was kind of. It was like I didn't want to.
I'd completely done it Cottonwood Lakes one time and turned around and looked up the hill, and there's a group of like 3-4 people up there. And I know they had to have seen me or heard me, but I didn't see them at first, but their camp was up that high. So they got a show, maybe. I don't know.
But, you'll never know.
Nah, they didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Unless they were a YouTuber, then you would know maybe one day.
Yeah.
You go back and find their video.
Yeah.
That's all great. So I have one more here, unless we want to like throw in any other stories. And it's basically what we probably should have covered towards the top, which is what's in the kit. I mean, I know like all of us here are probably a little bit more simplistic. We're not going to name any YouTubers here, but you know, there are some interesting techniques with some gear and bidets and how you kind of clean up kind of thing.
It's right here. So it's right here. So
I love that you got it handy.
Yeah. I've got my Deuce 2 in this bag, in my day hike bag.
Deuce.
I've got
still going strong.
This TP here, which is just regular TP from home.
TP from my bunghole.
I've got just wet wipes that I put in here. And then, those are the regular wipes.
Do you dry them out and then rehydrate with water?
No. They're just regular.
You're not UL, bro.
Yeah, come on, man.
No, I never am.
Dry them out in the sun.
And then this last one here is the actual like other wet wipes that are for like your hands, so that way I can clean my hands afterwards, and nails. Hopefully not in my nails.
Yeah.
Just saying. Then, I'm not using the bidet. No, not that deep.
You're not using the 3 seashells from that movie?
No. And then just 2 bags. One gets a TP, and then that bag goes in this bag.
Nice. That's pretty official, man. That's
the only other thing I carry is when I'm doing overnight trips. I've got a little thing in here with some Gold Bond.
That's right there.
Anti-chafe.
I mean, I'll go right into my kit. Basically, I don't have it right here with me. It's right across the way, but
I don't either.
I was just able to reach for it.
I got my trowel, obviously, to dig the hole. I have wussy wipes, so I bring about like 10 of those little like circle things to get water on. I bring actual toilet paper to do like the final cleanup, like dry off your butt, and then I'll bring some sanitizer for my hands to clean my hands. And I also do bring Preparation H, just like if you ever get like something going on back there where while you're hiking, you're gonna wish you had that. And then I do bring some monkey butt.
Monkey butt, yeah.
A separate container that I always, no matter when I do go poop, I always do the best cleanup job I can back there, and I'll throw some monkey butt on, and it makes it feel great, and it feels like it's nice and dry, man. That's the most important thing.
Nice. Okay. That was excellent as well. I feel like I'm the most like underprepared. I'm basically like Matt, just not as well equipped. So I use it's a Vargo Dig knockoff. I tried to use the Deuce Huck, and I couldn't really get into like the harder ground with it. I probably just wasn't doing it right, but I was like, I need military grade steel on this thing to try and cut into the ground. So that works.
Deuce, and I switched to the Bugler.
So okay. How do you liking that one? It seems like
nice
it's even more
soft
flimsy.
end on it. The back end's soft, and then it has the little rigid ends. But honestly, when it comes to trowels, it's like you just need something that dig. I mean, I've used the Deuce of Spades for close to 10 years now, and it always did a great job. It just felt like buying a new piece of gear, honestly.
Oh, if you don't want to buy a trowel, use your trekking pole or
that seems like that might be
sticks.
a pain. Yeah, so
It'll work in a pinch.
Right. Yeah. So you don't
Sorry,
have to
Dave,
pinch.
I was interrupted you. I mean, go ahead.
No, you're good. And then I do the same thing. I get the it's not Wissy. I got like the Amazon knockoff Wissy wipe stuff. But Matt and I, you can tell, just spend a lot more money than Huck on our toiletry products. But
It's more compact.
Yeah, it's just like you said. Like you got to remember to bring your water with you to rehydrate it. Otherwise, you're
like, why are you bringing your water with you to go poop?
Right. Right. And that's what I use primarily for the wipes. And then I actually bring a couple of different types of sanitizers for this particular job. If you're doing number 2, then I go with more of like a powdered soap to get it like super clean. That's also what they use the water for.
The Pika
wash up
soap, or do you use that?
Yeah, it's not like Summit Suds or whatever it's called. Yeah, like something like that. Actually, I think I had some. You can buy powdered dish soap as well. So I had some extra of that. So
they have that borax stuff that you could use. Dr. Bonner's.
Yep. I mean, Dr. Bonner's also has like the Castile soap, which is a little more slimy, but that'll work as well. That's pretty much it for my method. That's been working somewhat okay, but yeah, a little bit more prep there. One of the things I noticed that none of us have mentioned here is the bidet. That is like the thing everybody's using now. It's like taking the world by storm.
I will add a bidet to my kit just to do like a final cleanup. I've done it a couple times now, and it's like, oh wow, this like I mean,
Wait a minute.
Clean everything up. I'll clean up the way I normally do, but it's more of like the final, like, how when you go to the car wash and you get that spray, it's like the spray. It's that spray wash at the. That's
the final touch.
Yeah, the final touch, man.
A little sun protectant covering.
It's okay, but yeah, it is like it's hard to even like to think. I mean, I'm not on board 100% with the whole. You got a big mess going on back there, and you're trying to spray the water like, and then using your hand. I mean, that to me,
finishing job,
detail job, finishing job for sure.
Okay, yeah, I've seen some questionable techniques out there in the YouTube space as far as like using a bidet and not using toilet paper kind of thing, and that just seems kind of gross to me. But yeah, not really. I mean, here's what I'll say about that. Like, I don't know. We gotta ping Matt a little bit more here. I think Huck on his techniques with the bidet in future trips.
I'm brand new. I don't have a whole lot of technique.
I don't want demos.
You got more than us in the backcountry. Though, like what I will say is, like for home, 100%. Like I'm a huge advocate of it. I think it's amazing.
Sorry, I got the dog barking.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. But yeah, from the home use, I think you're a-okay going with that. You can get like a fire hydrant back there and you're all good. In the field, it's a little bit more, you got to be a little bit more tactile, right, about how you do it, technique and whatnot. So
yeah, I mean, the one thing, like if any of your watchers here were interested in using a bidet, the best way to test it out would be go to the bathroom and then jump in the shower, prepared to take a shower, and use it in the shower to see how well of a job you could do. I mean, that's going to tell you right there if you're capable of doing it or not. If I'm a bigger guy, so it's harder to reach around back there. I mean, you got to be pretty nimble and pretty like flexible too. I'm 47, so like reaching back there is like that's not the easiest thing in the world at my age.
Right. So, I feel like another thing people think about there is the potential for cross-contamination. Like, is it a bottle that you also drink out of it? Do you bring an extra bottle for that? Like, I know they sell extra bottles on certain kits that you can bring.
I personally would probably, if I was going to do it, would have a separate bottle than my drinking bottle that I would use just for that situation and be able to process it. Like if I was going to use it as a water source to process it through the filter. But yeah, I'm uncomfortable about that stuff, man. Be honest.
Yeah.
Huck's just like, no, I'm never gonna do
No.
it.
No.
I know
Old
he
school.
had like 3 different type of materials he was over there using the
I
one.
know.
Man.
Well, two.
He's like, I got the
one
2
for
ply
twins.
for the sticky stuff. I got the single ply to do the mid wipe cleanup, and then I get the wet wipes afterwards.
That's
It's gotta be.
Finish it
It's gotta be Charmin Soft.
off. Charmin 4-ply Angora
That's the thing
rabbit
about that
style.
Charmin Soft, man. It takes up so much space. You don't get a whole lot of plies.
Oh, believe me, you've seen the size of my kit. I get enough in there.
Yeah, Huck has a big.
I'll tell you what, though, like some people are pretty efficient, though. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I hear some stories about how much they actually use, and like they get it down to the squares and stuff. I'm like, who
Yeah.
counts the squares?
Well, that's the thing,
It's
man. It's like
crazy.
you say so if a through hiker say is like hiking, they got this whole routine down. Say they go into town and they eat like crap, right? They're eating like pizza and burgers and all this
Mhm.
stuff, and then they're back on the trail again. Are they really going to be using like 1 ply
No.
to do their thing after eating like crap? I don't think so, man. You never know.
Yeah.
My stuff's
Most
not
of those.
all the time like that.
Yeah. Most of the people that have that are like super clean eaters. They're out there. They've got their whole technique down
Yeah.
based
But
on
what-
what they're eating.
What through hiker is going into town eating a salad?
No one. No one in their right
I'm not
mind.
saying maybe there is, but it's like I've never seen them, man.
You're
No.
going in because you want to get like 10,000 calories quick.
I know you're eating
Yeah.
like Taco Bell and Snickers bars and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Extra large pizza to yourself.
Extra large pizza yourself.
McDonald's.
I mean, we do
challenges.
that ourselves, and that's only after a weekend trip. So I can't
I know,
imagine.
it's like
doing
we go for like one night and we're like, oh my god, I'm starving. I gotta go eat all this stuff.
the hiker hunger, man. It's like you only went 5 miles. The hiker hunger, man. Setting in. All right. Any other stories we got? I don't have any crazy stories myself personally because I only have a few stories and they're all kind of vanilla. So I got nothing.
Well, I got one more, and that was a trip to Utah that I did with a bunch of other YouTubers. First time we all met each other, it was for a bivy stick contest, you know, and we're going through Canyonlands National Park. And Canyonlands National Park is a wag bag area. And there was a couple people there that had never used wag bags before.
Who's on that trip with you?
We had Devin, Backcountry Exposure, Dan Becker, Bryce Newbald, Amy Rout. Am I missing anybody else?
The bivy stick guy.
Oh, and the bivy stick guy. And
that was an epic series. Just to quickly interject, you haven't seen that, go back and see that. I feel like that's one of the standards as far as like the YouTuber meetups kind of went. That was awesome.
Yeah. Hey Huck,
They're
drop a link in the comments.
Oh yeah, will do. I got the playlist there, so
I'll find it. I'll put it in the in the description too.
Marketing
and a couple of them had never done it before, and Devin's got like the almighty wag bag video out there. It's got like 1 million views at the time. So Devin sort of just showed everybody how to do it, and I've used it before. And then we got to camp. You know, first night. I'm not one to be shy, as you guys know, of pooping in the woods. So
you're not shy at all.
We just got done with dinner, and everybody's just chilling, talking. It's like, hey, excuse me, guys, I gotta do some business. Everybody looked like, really? It's like, yeah, it's natural, you know. It's like I came back with that full wag bag, and everybody's cheering for me like I just freaking won the World Series or something.
You like spiked it on the ground.
Wow, you
yeah. Yeah, it sort of broke the ice too, because after that, it's like everybody's everybody's just more comfortable around each other. And,
except for Devin, I would say that he was probably cool with like pooping too back in he's in Utah, which is a lot of the area.
He's used the wag bags quite a bit.
Yeah.
Dan, that was Dan. I know that was Dan's first time because Dan had no idea how one worked. So he actually was the one that started the conversation. He's like, Devin, can you give us a little demo and show us how it works? Yeah. And when we were getting ready to go, it's like, I'm not one that likes to reuse wag bags. So it's like, they're passing them out. You just passed out one. I was like, no, I'll take 2 more.
Well,
I'm a collector.
Yeah.
To piggyback off a Huck story, or are you done? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you.
Oh, I'm done. Yeah.
I mean, this story involves you, so it's like to piggyback off of your story as far as wag bags go. Huck, myself, and Monica took a trip, and David. Sorry, I didn't mean to forget David, but yeah, me, Huck, Monica, and David all took a trip to Utah, I don't even know. What has it been, like 7 years ago? It's been a while, man.
It's been a while now.
But
Feels
we
like
all took
yesterday.
yeah, I know. I want to go back. But we took a trip to Utah and we went to Coyote Gulch because it's if you've never been to Coyote Gulch, it's a beautiful place. And Devin from Backcountry Exposure would vouch for this, but it's really beautiful, a really like kind of nice long stroll once you get down into the canyon
Yes.
of this creek running through and all this. But we were back there, and obviously that's wagback country. So Huck came up with the idea of at the end of the trip, let's weigh our bags. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, all right, yeah, that sounds interesting. But so piggybacking off what Huck was saying earlier, he doesn't like using the same bag twice. So we all went back there with one bag each, right? So I mean, that's all we had to go in. So we were back there. How many days was it? 3 or 4 days?
3 days, 2 nights.
3 days, 2 nights. So we're back there, and it's like I had to go twice. So I had to reuse my bag. It was last night going back. I don't know how many times you used yours, Huck.
That was a trip, one of those ones I got lucky. Only did it
You only
once.
went once. So by the time we got back, and it was funny, man. We were like all going. We're getting ready to throw away in the trash can. We're weighing them out, like, and people were probably like, "What the heck are these people doing, dude?" But anyways, long story short, I won the challenge. I had the heaviest poop bag because I had to go twice in it, and I think everyone else went once.
Like a champ.
Yeah. It was fun
crazy.
times. Fun times.
Yeah, we always bet on Huck to win that. He is he's got the John Hancock on the Morning Constitutional there. So
he does. He's always
the pro.
I'm consistent. I'm regular there.
But yeah, I'm up there with him. Huck could vouch for that. I'm usually like having to as we're hiking, having to poop a lot lately, man. I don't know what's up with that. I mean, I've been
You're just one with nature.
After dude.
That's awesome. No, I still get like, I don't know if you guys ever get like backed up if you're going like on, like long flights, like airplanes or travel. I kind of get like that where it's just that combined with like the backpacker meals and stuff, like really plug me up, dude. Like it's not a good scenario. Like that's why I'm trying to like increase the fiber, especially when I'm out there, but not a great scenario.
Well, if we're hiking, I usually Huck will come pick me up or I'll pick him up sometimes when we're doing our thing. And, it's usually pretty early in the morning, so I don't get a chance to do my thing. So I know as I'm going out on the trail, something because I'm like a 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock guy at work, like every day.
Clockwork.
But no,
I will say when I'm on keto, it's one of those things I actually don't poop as much and it's more clean. So, yeah.
You better get back on keto.
I know. It helps out on trips. I'll say that.
Yeah,
that's the trick.
All right,
go on keto and you won't have to poop.
Yeah, that is a problem because the fiber is not usually there. Although some of the products that Huck and I consume, that's like all they put in now is fiber. So we're kind of seeing it trend in the opposite direction, which is nice.
It does. I remember I was on keto a few years back, and it does make it a much cleaner process when you're cleaning up.
Yes.
On keto, there's less like carbohydrates. That's usually what makes them.
Yeah,
let's get all scientific, man.
Yeah, less waste.
Like viscosity and different sizes and everything. Like getting really. I think that's a good spot to end it for this one. Actually,
conversation's going down the cat hole.
Hey, I was excited about this one. We're talking about poop. I was like, heck yeah, man. I could talk about poop.
Like I'm in. This is like I said, this is one that like Huck's been itching. He's been dying to talk about this one for a while.
Yes.
And I was like, finally, like, all right, let's do it, man.
Huck, do you have any like horror stories you want to share? Like bad things that could have happened while you were pooping?
Yeah, like anybody splash their pants or something.
Not that I know of.
Although that story you told at the beginning about that girl coming up and she was cute and she was talking to you and you had to poop, that is kind of a horror story.
Yeah.
But anything other like that?
Oh, geez. Put me on the spot. Now that I can think of. It's like there's times though you think you're off the trail and then you realize because it's a new trail you're going on and you realize like I was off trail, then you look like, oh crap, trail switchback. Now there's people going up there.
You don't realize.
I've had that happen. I've had that happen once where I thought I was far enough off the trail, and I look up and there was people. The trail kept going along. But yeah, that'd be the only other horror story.
Someone seen with their eyeballs.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, that was a great discussion. You never really know where you're going to go with these kinds of things, and I think we got a pretty good wrap on it, especially for any newbies trying to think about getting into it. Hopefully, we made you feel a little bit more comfortable about it. I mean, you got to do it, right? Like it's a call of nature, so just get out there and drop trow and do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Check out these guys. They're both here on YouTube. We got Huck at Huck Outdoors, and Matt, I believe, is Matthew Dunn.
I don't even know what I changed. My name's, I don't even know what's going on.
Changes weekly. Check out their content.
Inspiration to make videos, man. I don't even know what my
How about a quick plug? Do you guys have a separate channel for your photography, or are you just on like the regular socials for it?
Instagram. Mine's just I'm Dunn. I'm way more active on Instagram. So I'm stories and I post like as much as I can. So that's probably where you see me most active, Instagram.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks again, fellas. Very informative, kind of eye-opening, a little bit shocking at times, but always appreciate the collective wisdom.
Was it TMI, man?
What's that?
Was it TMI?
TMI? No, I don't think so. I think we, as far as a sticky subject goes, I think we kept it PG for the most part. Kept it clean as much as we could.
Like literally, or no? I'm just kidding.
If you're not on keto, supposedly,
you got to be on keto and it won't be sticky.
All right, guys. Thanks again for your time, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right.